Shedeur Sanders went from being blackballed in the NFL draft to being placed last on the depth chart. The media making a ton of false narratives surrounding his name. Head coach who just seemed uninterested, seemed like he didn't want him. GMs coming out saying that they didn't want him essentially. Barely any backup reps in camp, no starting reps at all. I mean, Shedeur Sanders was being talked about a guaranteed first round pick. I do not forget every single TV show that you flipped on that had to do anything with sports. It was Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. Who's gonna go first overall? That was the talk around the league, on the internet. That was it. And fast forward to today, after being named the starter, I mean, this is full circle moment for Shedeur. He got thrown in the fire versus the Ravens, didn't have his best stuff, gets a full week of practice with the starters, gets a game plan tailored directly to him and his play style and skill set, and they go out and they whoop on the Raiders. Now, I know it's just the Raiders. People are going to say this and that, but the Raiders defense is still decent, all right? I mean, that throw that Shedeur Sanders made in that game, the deep ball, off balance, off platform, rolling out the pocket to his right side, drops it in the breadbasket. I mean, there was no slowing down for the receiver. Hit him perfectly in stride, right in the bucket. Shedeur Sanders is the only quarterback in NFL history to have two 50-plus yard passes in his first career start. And it's not just about Shedeur, right? It's about the team around him as well. When people talk about, oh, Shedeur should be the starter or Dillon Gabriel should be the starter, I think people tend to think of it as, okay, this guy's better than this guy, he should be the starter. But not only do I think that Shedeur is better and has a higher ceiling than Dillon Gabriel, we watched it in the Raiders game. That Browns team looked completely revitalized. They looked completely different. They were playing hard. They looked like excited, like revitalized. Like, I know it's just the Raiders, like I said, but this is also the Browns we're talking about. I can't tell you the last time I seen the Cleveland Browns make an explosive play like Shedeur did on that deep ball. And like I said, the guys are playing hard for him, bro. The defense has more juice. The offense feels just like a breath of fresh air. Like, this is what the Browns needed. Shedeur Sanders is the first Browns quarterback to win in his first career start in 30 years. And like I alluded to earlier, the ceiling for Shedeur Sanders is much, much higher than the ceiling of Dillon Gabriel, and I'm sorry, that's just the facts. Yes, Shedeur has some problems coming out of college. He tends to drift to the back of the pocket, and he doesn't trust the pocket when it's there sometimes. He holds on to the ball too long. All this stuff can be cleaned up. He had a pick in the Raiders game. You know, it was a bad pick. It was a predetermined throw. All that can be cleaned up and will be cleaned up. That was his first career start. I'm not taking too much into it, but for the most part, he looked good, and he 100% earned, at minimum, another start. I think he deserves to play for the rest of the season. And that probably will happen if he plays another decent game versus the 49ers. It's going to be a true test for him. So I'm excited to see what he does in that game. But if you think about the league right now in the NFL and where it's at, QBs are so thin. We have Jameis Winston putting on performances on NFL Sunday that you just can't believe. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, Jameis Winston's out here catching balls, stiff-arming folks. You got JJ McCarthy, who's awful, atrocious. I mean, you got a lot of bad quarterback play around the league. And if those guys can come in, week out, and put up stinkers, and Shedeur comes in and looks decent, then what's all the heat on him for? Like, this is his first start. Like, Trevor Lawrence is awful. He's had 6 years to prove something, and he hasn't put anything on paper. He hasn't won anything. He hasn't looked consistently good. So, like, all these guys around the league get so much wiggle room and so much benefit of the doubt because they were picked so high. But like I said, don't forget, Shedeur Sanders was across the board before all the drama agreed to be a first-round pick. I think it's only right that he gets his shot to start the rest of the season. I do think that the Browns will still draft a quarterback. I do believe that they are in on the Fernando Mendoza race if that opportunity presents itself. But the Browns got a chance to win some football games here coming into the back half of the season. I mean, they play the 49ers on Sunday, then they play Tennessee, then they play the Bears, then they play the Bills, then they play the Steelers, then they play the Bengals. So there's a chance they win maybe 2 games, puts them out of the top 3. They don't get to get Fernando Mendoza, and maybe they have to stick with Shedeur, or I don't know if they bring in another backup or what. But 100%, if Stefanski did not name Shedeur the starter, he would have lost everybody in that locker room. And I do think, regardless of what happens, I think Stefanski is out at the end of the season, and whatever coach comes in is more than likely probably going to want his own quarterback. Probably is going to want to go and draft his own guy. So the odds are stacked up against Shedeur still. Even though he is a starter, the odds are stacked up against him because right now they're looking at him as a bridge quarterback, not a franchise quarterback. For him to earn that title and earn that belief, he is going to have to show something special. And on a Browns team that's not very capable on offense, but I do believe that he can do enough to buy himself another year if he plays well throughout the rest of this season. Yes, he can clean up some of the interview stuff where people call him cocky and arrogant and this. He's just a young kid. He's got a little bit of swag to him. Leave him alone. Like, the people are so just weird and like to create false narratives and paint him out to be like a weird, like, it's just dumb. It's dumb in my opinion. I do think that he can tone down on it and stuff, but I don't mind it. But if you do talk, you're gonna have to walk. So he has to back it up with his play, and he said himself, he knows that. He has to go out and show this stuff in game. There's zero chance you can tell me that Dillon Gabriel would be the Browns quarterback in 3 or 4 years. Zero chance. I can see, like I said, if Shedeur balls out and he really balls out, like he has to ball out. I think that's the only way he will be the Browns quarterback for the future. But I can see him way easier than I can see Dillon Gabriel. There's just no chance. The ceiling is so capped with Dillon Gabriel versus Shedeur Sanders. And Shedeur Sanders proved and will continue to prove that he should not have been a 5th round pick. I know he tanked interviews supposedly and did this and that, and his draft process wasn't the best, but he's here, he's making the best of it, and I wish him the best. It is going to be exciting to watch the Browns. This is unbelievable that I'm saying that. The Browns are a watchable football team now. And Shedeur will play better than a 5th round pick. I'm sure of that. And those guys around him are feeling the new energy. They're feeling new life. And like I said, the season is most likely probably chalked up. But if Shedeur Sanders goes out there and does something special, don't be surprised if he's under center week 1 for the Cleveland Browns starting up next season as well. All I'm saying is Cam Ward needed 10 games to get his first win. Shedeur got it on his first start. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, I'm excited to watch the Browns and what Shedeur does, man. Let me know what you think about the whole situation in the comments. Do the Browns let Shedeur rock out this season? Do they get another quarterback in the draft? Do they trade for a vet? Let me know what you guys think about this. It's been your boy Dave, man. Check out all the other uploads. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.